Happy Monday, rolling out reality check. It is your girl, Crystal Jordan, and I hope that everybody watching me had a very Merry Christmas. We know that Christmas is probably a little different than it has been in times past because of everything going on and us being forced to socially distance. But hopefully, you were able to find the reason for the season and were able to enjoy a great holiday with friends, family, or whoever you're with, whoever you're sharing it with, even if that was yourself. Hopefully, you had a great time. We are back. We are ending the year. This is the very last reality check of 2020. Woof. I've had a great time this year. We've had some great guests. And I think my most explosive reality check happened last Monday. If you guys were watching, I had one of the other castmates from Ready to Love. We kind of do the entire month of December with a lot of love and relationships. Shouts out to Owen and Will Packer. So we kind of ended the year with Ready to Love. And so last week we had on Alicia Mitchell, and she had quite a surprise for us. And so you know how I am. I appreciate having the ladies on, but I got to give my guys some love, especially it's good to give some eye candy to the ladies out there. So today I have David Dixon. So you guys help me welcome David Dixon to Reality Check.
One.
Hey, David, how are you?
I'm great. And yourself?
I'm good. How was your holiday?
Of course, not normal. Not your regular holiday, as far as with the pandemic going on. I mean, a lot of people didn't, visit. So a lot of people actually just kind of stayed home, which I am one of those that just really stayed home.
Okay. Well, I said I'm going to try to run this clip. We're going to try to run this clip and reintroduce you to the audience that is watching. And then we're going to go ahead and get into your version of what happened this year. So let me try to click on this video.
Okay, I guess she's not interested. That was just to say, though, I'm glad that's cleared up. Now we know. That's what right.
And I know, I have a hard exterior, so it takes time to, kind of peel back my layers.
So speaking of, David, what you were just talking with Simone is how I felt about you.
Okay.
There was a few times I approached you and you were, didn't seem interested, didn't seem like you wanted to have a conversation.
We will get there because this is day 2 now.
Yeah.
And now we are starting to move around and shift.
But that time is valuable.
Okay.
And I do think you are a bit of a mystery man. I mean, you walked in with shades, a hat, and I said that to you.
That had on shades,
well, no.
but they didn't have on a hat.
They got called down too.
On a hat, right?
They got called down too. You don't think you were
and then
closed
I came back to you, though.
Whoa,
yeah, I
now,
came
don't
back
be
to
putting
you.
your finger in my face now.
Girl, your face high. It's high. It's up here. My head was down here. I said, now you now.
Okay. So you know what, David? Before I even get into the ladies Joy called you the mystery man. I don't think that is not necessarily a bad thing in itself.
Right.
Do you think that you were understood on the show?
I think I was all the way misunderstood on the show because as I did state, I am a good guy, and of course, people interpret things different. People take, you really just take it. It depends on how you take it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I didn't mean to offend anyone like that. And I think we actually ended up, speaking about it and got everything clear. So, I mean, we're good in that as far as that situation.
Okay. Do you think, you know what? She made a comment, and I just want to ask your opinion on this because I've said that to guys before. I remember going on a date with this guy, and he came with a baseball cap pulled down. He had sunglasses on, and he had so much jewelry. And I was just like, what is happening right now? We were eating at a restaurant here in Atlanta, and it was just so much with the glasses, and they were very dark shades in the hat. So, and that does feel really impersonal. So why did you feel like your choices to come dressed, swagged out were just because you were trying to put your best foot forward, or were you trying to kind of hide behind the shades and kind of keep that anonymity?
Well, for one, it was sunny as hell. So I needed my shades. I'm one of those. I get the squinting going on and the sun in my face, in my eyes. So No, and then of course I am one that I do feel, dressed to impress. I mean, that first impression is everything, So I want to look my best, in anything that I do, wherever I'm showing up at, I want to look good, So I felt like, yeah, that was kind of like my little swag right there, I had to come, hey, tiptoeing in there, like, what's up? Hey, how you doing?
Okay, well, I'm not mad at that. I think that everybody kind of came with their own personal swag.
Right.
So we can't fault you for that. Now, I got to point out, I mentioned before you came on, I think Alicia Mitchell's interview has been the most surprising all year for me. And she mentioned in that clip, David, she said that she was feeling you and you kind of blew her off. Did you have any idea that Alicia was with child?
No, I had no idea at all. At all. Didn't know anything about that. It was a whole shock to me.
It was a shock to everybody. Did you blow her off? Were you not really interested?
I mean, as far as that, I told her, we were good, and of course that she wasn't necessarily my type, and I was pretty much how I put it out there, cool people, wonderful person, nothing, good to be around, but hey, everybody has a type, and she's just not in that aspect. That wasn't my type.
That's nothing wrong with that. So David, tell us, what is your type?
Of course, I guess how they said she was looking for sponsors, so that wouldn't be my type.
Okay.
Looking for a sponsor, nah. I don't mind, looking out for people, helping people, doing things for people, but yeah, don't come in with, these expectations that, how basically how it was said, like, I'm gonna take care of, you and your family when you don't even know me like that. First let's get somewhere. Right. So anyway, I guess to answer your question, of course, a down to earth, easygoing, loyal woman that's about her business. Just easy to get on. Like, we can go do things together. Don't mind getting out there and having fun and being like, okay, we the life of the party together.
Okay. So that's like internal characteristics. Do you have any physical preferences? And if so, just tell us maybe like the women on the show. Who was your type from the girls that you met on the show?
I like some, good hair, pretty hair. I like the thick, the thickness. I got a thing with that. I don't really do nothing against the slim, but once again, it's my type. You know what I'm saying? Because don't get me wrong, right. You have sexy slim women out there, but I like a little meat on them bones. You know what I'm saying? I like the whole. I'm a country boy, so as me, cornbread fed. Like, I need you thick. That cabbage and all of that. You eating all that black eyed peas, and you can see it's on you.
Well, trust me, I don't think any of the ladies are going to be upset with you on saying that that's your preference, even though you did acknowledge that beauty comes in all shapes. So we're not going to hold that against you. Women definitely have preferences of their own.
Right.
Was there anybody on the show? They probably going to get you about that good hair comment, though, David. You may want to restructure that. They're going to get you about that. We got to reteach our community that there's no such thing as good hair. Maybe a certain type of hair.
Right. And I understand that, but that was, that's just, really, it's not even all that, honestly. That was just kind of like a little preference, because, I've been with all shapes and sizes, different colors, different types of grades of hair. Like, I've been there, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm cool with that, but that was just a preference, a way of me saying something, Once again, it might be misunderstood again.
Right. Well, it's all. Like I said, I'm help you. I'm gonna help you help express yourself to the ladies.
Yeah, help me clean it up.
Black women, we are very specific on words. We are very specific. So I'm gonna just add a little help in there and explain. It's probably like a certain style that you prefer, but it's all good. Black women are beautiful across the board. Amen.
Short hair, long hair. Fade like it does. It's cool. Braids.
It's cool. Okay, I'm gonna take you off the hot seat. So you've mentioned that you were a country boy. That's one of the things that came up. We know the show is was filmed in Houston. Where did you grow up, and what was like your beginning? Like, what was the first? What is the first steps of like David's dating life? Like, what was that like?
Yeah. Well, of course, I grew up in a little country town called Lufkin. Not really a whole lot to
Okay.
do. Very country. You pretty much, like I say, you go work out, you play sports, and probably fool with some horses or something. You know, you're not doing a whole lot because it's not much to do. So, you know, I kind of grew up actually liking, you know, a good country girl. You know, that was my little
Okay.
thing. You know, and then of course I started expanding my horizon. Like, all right, I got to be a little more open, a little more transparent to, you know, all types of women. You know, instead of just as though I needed a country girl.
Right. So what do you do? What is your profession right now?
Actually, I'm an oil operator, chemical operator, which
Okay.
that's mainly oil and gas. Yes, and I also
Okay. Okay. We know. I know you're in Texas. I grew up in Oklahoma. It's not far from Texas. Oklahoma is very much an oil state, and Texas is as well. So I'm familiar. I ride a few horses too, David. Now, I'm with you. There are a lot of women that, yeah, you know, a lot of women are into the horses. But let me ask you this: what is I've always find it interesting. Obviously, you're a good looking guy. They had a lot of good looking guys, a lot of beautiful women on the show this year. I'm always interested to find out what attracted you to a dating show, because I'm sure you're not having issues finding a country girl that likes to have fun and hang out, walking around as you are. So what was it about the show that attracted you to Ready to Love?
I feel as though I've done pretty much everything except that. Go on television looking for love. So I've done everything else. It's like, why not try it? See what happens, you know, see how it goes. I mean, I'm just basically being open to something, not even knowing how it's gonna go.
Why do you think the dating that you were doing before this had not worked out? Why? Because usually a good country boy settles down with a girl early, ends up, you know, with a few country kids, and they're good. So I mean, usually it's not difficult to find a woman that wants that, because there's good, wholesome value. So what do you think it was about what you were doing that was not getting that, you know, that true love for you that results in you still being single and going on the show?
Well, I guess I kind of felt like I was going to, which actually happened, meet some women that, I mean, I've never seen before, never met before. You know, just letting them pick instead of me picking, just let me go from, you know what I'm saying, as far as that. They brought 10 women. So it's like, here I have 10 women right here in front of me that I have no clue who they are, you know. So, you know, things got interesting, but I guess to answer your question, it was just doing something different, you know, and seeing how it goes. I've dated, you know, when I was working offshore, I was offshore for like roughly about 11 years. So I was always gone and relationships wasn't working. I was getting played. You know, it's a bunch that went on. Yeah. So I've had it kind of rough. So I figured I'd just try something else, see how this works.
Okay, that's fair. So what was your impression of the ladies when you first got there? Because what we saw is, you know, you guys get there and, you know, it's skin showing, everybody's showing off their best, everybody's swag is on 10, and everybody's showing off, putting their best foot forward. What was your first impression of the ladies? And can you share, like, give us a rundown of who you were like, okay, I'm feeling her. That's not really my steez. We know Alicia wasn't your steez, but who were you really feeling for the first impression?
Well, I mean, let's just start out by saying they had some beautiful women, you know, some smart women, educated women, you know, they were out there, you know, it was, you had all kind of options, you know, so they did have a good group of women. I guess to be honest with it, I have to tell them now, look, I did feel Alex. I was kind of feeling Alex. I'm pretty sure y'all know Alex. You know, me and Denise had some words here and there. Some of them I just didn't never really get to talk with as long, you know, speak with as long. But I think I really had a lot of conversation with Alex. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why which I did talk to Denise, like I said. But as far as going into it, yeah, I started, moving closer to Alex before having
Okay.
to leave.
So right, because you were gone pretty quickly. I was sad for you because I was like, dang, he didn't really get a chance to move around at all. But what about you? Did I was rooting for you, David. I didn't want you to go home so soon. Now, what about Simone? Because we saw Simone said that she was feeling you, and it seemed like both you and Simone kind of got off to a slow start with, kind of really going after what you wanted. Because we saw she stayed around for a lot longer than you did, but she still acknowledged that she didn't really open up as soon as she wanted to. So,
Right.
And you said you didn't really know that she was interested in you. So is that something that you wish you would kind of, got on a little bit earlier in the game?
Well, I actually, tried to speak with her, and of course, we all saw how that went. It was just more or less like she was all over the place. So I'm like, can I get your attention right here? And it wasn't happening. So of course, I'm already turned off because of the conversation. So I mean, but then there was a point where I did actually get a chance to speak with her as well, and I started feeling her a little more. Then I said, yeah, it might take a little work, but hey, we're gonna be all right.
It may take a little work. Okay. Why would you say it would take a little work?
Simone is a special friend. She is a special friend. Like, she cuts up. So you just have to be ready for her. You know what I'm saying? You got to be prepared because you don't know what Simone's gonna get you. So that's why I say it might take work. You don't know.
Okay. I would think that, especially with your background, I think, Houston. I think of Houston. I think of
real quick. Just 1 second, if you don't mind. 1 second.
Okay, go ahead. I'll entertain the people. You go ahead. All right, guys. Are you enjoying this interview? I like the fact that we were able to show a little clip from the show. We'll make sure that we do that moving forward. But I got to tell you guys, I got to ask David a little bit more about this country guy and how is the country guy able to interact with city women? Because most of them women on the show are not from the country. All right. Okay. So my question to you is, because with you, it was obvious that you were definitely, you don't seem like someone that's done TV before or that has had interest in TV. With you being a country boy and kind of having those expectations, how do you think that will work with a woman that's not from that, a woman that's from a very different background, like city woman, country guy? How do you think that will work out? Do you think you'll have to be a little bit more compromising, or do you want her to kind of start to think more like you, or how do you see that working?
I think it would actually take that on both sides, the compromising and of course understanding each other, because we look at it as country people. We say, oh, we slow, versus the city women. The city people are like, oh, they fast. It's just all about just understanding, really. I mean, because it can go any kind of way. I mean, that's the reason why I said, no, I'm just open to, it doesn't necessarily have to be a country girl. Yeah, it could be a city girl. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, as long as you respect me, love me, be faithful to me, I mean, hey, we'll be all right.
Okay.
Same in return.
Right. Let me ask you about the situation with Joy, because she did have an issue with you putting your finger in her face. I'm gonna say, when I watched it, I didn't think that you were trying to be disrespectful, but you just never know what can trigger somebody, right? So how did you feel in that moment? And can you kind of talk about, how did you feel about that? Because I know some women very, very, very sensitive to anything physical, depending on what they've gone through.
And I understand that, and exactly like you said, you don't know a person's past, and I don't know that person's past or whatever. We're just taking it as, okay, this is an individual that we both do not know, and just me doing the little bit that I did may have, like you say, triggered something from the past. I have no clue, but did I mean anything by it? Was I trying to be disrespectful? No, not at all. Now, do I talk with my hands? Yes, I tend to do that a lot. But I'm trying to learn that now, like to not talk to my hands as much. Because I get to doing all of this and just all kind of stuff, with my hands. And it's like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. So, yeah, no, I mean, after the fact, like I told you, I did speak with Joy and I did apologize to her. I said, it was just a misunderstanding, because that wasn't what I was trying to do at all. I mean, I have, 3 sisters and my mom. So it's like I have a lot of women around me. So, of course, treating a woman, with respect and that's all I know, so I don't disrespect women.
Right. What did you think about there's a lot of great dating conversations that I guess start on the show and the rest of us are able to watch and have great conversation about it. There was a situation with Naya and KG, and we kind of alluded to that earlier. You said you're not really with the women that are looking for a sponsor, but when they talked about the man's role in the relationship, and KG said that he would be willing to kind of fill in or, do that. And Naya was very, very confident about not wanting a man that wasn't willing to take over the majority of the household bills. That is a real conversation with dating. So what's your position on that? And I'm sure you watched it. I think you were already gone when that happened, but what do you think about that whole conversation? Where do you fall in that conversation?
I mean, in that conversation, I'm gonna say it like this: you have a man that makes this much, you have a woman that makes this much. You just never know who can handle what. You know what I'm saying? As far as what they can actually handle. Just to say, if you telling me I'm responsible for all of these bills, but you make way more money than me, how does that work? You know what I'm saying? We have to come to an understanding and agreement as to what. All right, well, this is what I'm taking care of. This is what if my income allows me to take care of, so don't automatically put, $50,000 worth of stuff on me when I'm only making 30,000.
Yikes.
Right. I'm just saying, it's the truth, because you don't know a person's situation. So you can't come in expecting them to like, all right, well, you're going to take care of this. Now, yeah, if we are in that household together and whatever, just say we have a joint account. I mean, that's different. We're both putting our money into this. So this is us together taking care of us, the household. So it's not so much it's all on one person, something like that. Because you do have some, I mean, I've seen it happen before where, with me, I'm spending, and she's saving. And it's like, well,
David. But see, that's where you just need a woman to be like, to balance that out. You gotta have a balance. That was my next question to you. Like, how do you feel about, because I just know, like I said, growing up mostly in Oklahoma, that usually country guys have a very specific idea of the way the household is run. Usually they feel like the man is definitely the head of the household and the woman is probably in there cooking and cleaning the house. What is your outlook? Are you a new school country guy that's okay with a woman that's working and out doing her own, or do you prefer a more traditional household?
Well, my grandparents were actually together 63 years, and she retired after working 30 years, and of course my grandfather carried the rest of it. But I think it's just one of those things where I feel like I would actually be open to helping in all kind of ways, I mean, because I cook, I clean, so it's not necessarily saying that the woman is always responsible for that, because some people got that all wrong. Yeah, you're supposed to do this, do that, but overall, I mean, hell, you're not handicapped. There's some stuff you can do too, so
you better say that, Dave. Yes.
I a woman with stuff like that. I mean, when I was telling you, I was out of a job. I was dating a woman, and we were together, and she had 2 kids. She had to go to work, and of course, I was there cooking, cleaning, like the whole nine, because I had to do my part, being that I wasn't bringing in any income. I mean, this is like, all right, this is the most you can do anyway. Was clean, get the kids together, have them do their schoolwork, have them take their baths and all of that. By the time she got home, all she had to do was, take a bath, eat, and go relax. She didn't have to do anything. She
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to fold clothes. I pretty much did all of that, you know. So
Right.
it's just different situations, different scenarios, to where I think you just have to really just be willing to compromise, you know, depending on what's going on.
Depending on what's going on. I like that. I'm going to ask you something else because had a couple of conversations. We talked to Anthony, and then also KG, and just there was a lot of mention of conversation with the men about emotion and how so often men are not able to share how they're feeling, especially with their significant other. And we've talked a lot this year just about mental health and how a lot of times Black men feel like they can't share how they're really feeling, if they're feeling afraid, if they're feeling vulnerable, you know, with everything that's been going on. Especially Edwin talks a lot about that as well. I want to ask your opinion on that. I'm not sure if you were there for that conversation, but do you feel like as a man of your age that you are comfortable sharing your emotions with women? And if so, how did you learn how to be comfortable doing that?
Well, I've always been somewhat closed off to that because I have had a hard time like expressing myself. And yes, there
Mm-hmm.
have been many women tell me that, you know, even my mom, you know, she'd think, oh, you just not that, you know, like that. And I don't know. I mean, I never really seen like my grandfather, my father, like these men, like they didn't want to let you see them cry, you know,
Right.
like that was just how I came up. So I guess with
Mm-hmm.
me expressing myself and telling, you know, I just really had to just work on myself and actually pray about it, you know, pray to be able to open up and express myself to a woman, whoever I'm with, like that, because I
Mm-hmm.
noticed keeping a lot of that in, you know, it tends to build up and it causes problems. So now
Mm-hmm.
lately I've been a whole lot more open with just, I mean, really just saying exactly how I feel instead of just holding it in.
Nice. Nice. Is there something that a woman can do? Because I've heard the men say that often women don't provide a space for them to feel comfortable being open with their feelings. So in your situation, well, in your case, is there something a woman can do when you're in a relationship with her that can help you feel more comfortable and more willing to share with her?
Now, one thing my family do believe in, and I will say one thing she can do is pray for the man. That's the beginning. Pray
I
for
like
him, you
that.
know. So
Yes, yes, sir. You better say that, David.
pray for him. I mean, just don't pull him down. You know, try to speak to him in a way that's going to be positive, and just, you know, reach out to him, because if you don't reach out to us, you know, we feel like we're out there alone. You know, so then of course
Mm-hmm.
when we're feeling like we're out there alone, we're gonna hold more in anyway, because it's gonna be like, well, hell,
Mm-hmm.
what good is it gonna do? You know, if nobody has
Yeah.
my back, why should I be expressing something to them?
Right, right. I like that. I interviewed Waka Flocka and his wife Tammy years ago, and they have a really cute relationship. They go back and forth as anybody does. But one of the things that stood out to me was she said that when she met him before they even got together, she prayed for him. She prayed for him, and that made him see that she really did have a concern for him that was deeper. So I think that's awesome. Let me ask you one more question before I let you go. I appreciate your patience and
Oh
hanging
yeah,
out
no,
with us today. What did you learn about yourself during this whole process of, you know, signing up for the show, being on the show, seeing yourself on the show, seeing other people on the show? What's the biggest dating lesson that you learned from this?
definitely communication. Um, you know, and the way you put stuff, the way you word it, hey, it can make a difference. You know, also being
Absolutely.
transparent, because I opened up to, once again, to sit there, you know, having conversations with women I probably wouldn't even have a conversation with on the outside, you know. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
became very transparent. It's it's definitely been a learning experience, and especially I think I also, with the whole opening up thing too as well, you know, because here I am, I'm talking to a complete stranger and I'm telling them, you know, about my lifestyle, you know, my life story, just saying what has gone on in my life, you know.
Hmm.
So it was a lot. It was a lot that I learned actually.
That's good. Well, that's awesome. And hopefully that'll prepare you for the woman, when you the true love that you're supposed to have. I think all of us, everything that we go through makes us more prepared for when God brings that person into our lives. So I hope that for you. Can you tell us what's going on with you now? Where can people follow you on social media?
Of course, you can go to gentleman_Houston. That's actually on my Instagram and also Facebook. And Twitter, I think it's gentleman of HOU. You can find me on there. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually preparing to launch a website for, the gentleman's cookware, mittens, oven mittens, cutting boards, seasoning, aprons, all type of stuff like that. So that will be. So we're actually working on that, putting it together. And
okay, well, you have to come back.
www.gentlemanofhouston.com.
Gentleman of Houston. People are asking, are you single? But I know you're not supposed to share that with us. You're supposed to save that. Save that, David. Don't give it to him. You save it. You save it. Save it, David, for the reunion. We don't want to give that away. Y'all ain't gonna get us. Don't have all on me talking about the spoilers. Well, you have to promise to come back and share with us more about the cookware. That's an interesting idea and very, very, very good, because I'm sure lots of women out there want their men in the kitchen. It's a sexy thing to see a man in the kitchen. So we'll definitely have to keep up with you on that. Thank you so much, David, for joining us and for sharing your experience on the show.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'll see you next month. Happy New Year.
All right. Y'all have a happy New Year and y'all stay safe.
Thank you. All right. We'll see you later. All right. Well, that is it for today's reality check. I enjoyed talking with David Dixon. I just want to remind you guys, if you are in Georgia, I want to make sure to remind you to vote. I just did some pieces with the NAACP and just seeing all the commercials that are out. I know that we're being inundated with it, but it's so important that we exercise our right to vote, because Georgia, the world is looking at Georgia, and we are going to be responsible for making sure that our government is able to actually move in our favor. So anyway, I wanted to remind you of that. I want to wish you all a very beautiful New Year. I can't wait to get back. I have a special guest that's going to join me on Friday for Ready to Love, the recap. So I hope you'll join me then. But if not, I won't hold it against you, because it'll be the first day of 2021. 2020 is almost over. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting on? We have some huge surprises coming up in 2021. But most importantly, I just want to thank you for rocking with me all 2020. This has been your girl, Crystal Jordan, with Rolling Out's Reality Check. And for 2020, it's a wrap. I'll see you guys next year.